Sorry.
Like, what other depressing subject do you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I mean, fuck, we could talk about why I didn't come here last week.
Yeah,
oh
I
my
heard
god,
about
that is
depressing
horrible.
subject.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can start a GoFundMe.
Do I save that one for the live show? Or is it
No, just go. Let's go. Tell it. We're recording anyway.
What happened?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. No, it's like, it's not anything, like, it was my own stupid mistake. Like, there's no fancy story around it. I had a backpack. I was coming back from a friend's house.
Yeah.
It was like 1 a.m. and I was slightly intoxicated because we were hanging out playing video games. I brought my Xbox One. I brought a Surface Pro in the backpack. I had
Hardy.
2 controllers, Halo Master Chief Collection, 2 terabyte hard drive. And some other stuff that I don't want to mention on this podcast. Anyway, a lot of stuff, about $2,000 worth of stuff in that backpack.
Right.
And I was on the subway. I put it down on the chair because it was so heavy. I didn't want to hold it on my back. And I was just thinking about life and about my YouTube, about what I wanted to do tomorrow. And I was lost in thought. I get up and I get off the subway. And the moment I get off, I immediately recognize I don't have my bag. The door is closed. It's too
man.
late.
Right.
I watch the train go away and I freak the fuck out. Swearing's okay here. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
a doubt.
I freak out, and the first thing that goes to my
freak
mind
the
is just
fuck out, man. Stay with it.
right, and I'm not sober either, so I'm panicking. Like, get it together. You're going crazy. Like this. Can't believe this is happening. I go to the lady in the booth.
Yeah.
There's a lady in the booth, and I was like, help me. This is urgent. What do I do? And she's like, the only thing you could do is go to Finch Station. I was at North York Center at the time. There's one more stop.
Yeah.
Go to Finch Station. So I go to Finch, and then the supervisor at Finch is like, actually, there's nothing we can do to help you. All you could do is go to the opposite end of the line at Vaughan Station and wait for the train to come back, and then hope that it's in there. So I take an Uber to Vaughan Station. By the time I'm there, it's already past like 2:30 a.m. They won't let me on the actual track or on the platform anymore. So the guy just gives me a number and he's like, yeah, we'll try to check for you and call this number. I called it like every day since and it never came back. And the one thing that hurts me so much is if I didn't freak out in the moment that I left it on the train, if instead I just thought like, why don't I just go to the other side of the track and let it, because it was at the end of the line, right? Like it had to go to Finch and then come back.
right.
So it would have gone to Finch, gone one stop back to me, and I had that would have been the best chance for me to ever get that back.
You were
back.
drunk, and it's a panicky situation.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't
I've
think
replayed it
straight.
in my head like a million times.
No. All right, so the Kickstarter link is going to be,
Please.
and we're going to figure this out.
Go fund me.
Go
No,
fund me.
I thought about it, and as terrible as it is, and as much as I loved all that stuff,
Yeah.
I'm a very lucky person.
Yeah.
Because all of that stuff was extra.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
2 Xbox Ones. I have an Xbox One Scorpio Edition, which is a better console
Right.
at home. And this was my second Xbox One that I was okay with bringing around. The Surface Pro was given to me for free because I work at Microsoft at the Eaton Center store, and they
Yeah.
give you a Surface Pro. Just so you guys know, pass your training, they'll give you a Surface Pro, and then
Nice.
you can quit the job. I'm kidding. You didn't
I'm going to
hear
start a business. Collect
no. That's you shouldn't do that. But it's great device, and I just everything was. It was extra stuff that I don't need, and I'm so privileged and so thankful that I've got what I have my health and I have
Awesome.
everything else that I have. So it's
Oh, man, this guy
Shit
turned
has-
this
That's
thing
probably
all the way around.
You found your own silver lining.
well,
you
I
didn't even,
had to, otherwise I was I'd be in the depths of
Still punching
my
walls.
basement, just just miserable. So
Oh, no.
there's you can either dwell on it or you just take it as a reason to work harder in your day to day.
This is true. Can I ask you a question? Were you listening to music while you were thinking on the subway?
was,
Because that is the number one reason why I forget anything. Because a lot of times I'm listening to a podcast at home while I'm getting ready. I'll get in the car, drive, and realize I forgot my wallet. Go back, get my wallet, realize I forgot my keys. Like it's a lot of that stuff. So as a rule now, if I'm leaving the house or if I need to have my brain with me, I will not listen to anything because it's caused me way too much grief as a result.
That's definitely part of it.
That, and if I do what you did, because I'm a very anxious person, right? Deal with anxiety. If I put my, I only did this because of like school textbooks, university textbooks.
Okay.
Right? You put your back down, and you take a strap and you wrap it around your leg. So when I get up, it's either I'm going to remember or I will trip and fall.
Yeah.
Those are the two
like that.
options.
I would just justify to myself that now it's okay for me to go to Walmart and steal an Xbox and a bunch of games. I'm like, the universe took it, and the universe will
And
give
I'm
it
getting
back.
it back. That's the thing too. You wonder who picks that bag up and opens it and says, "I'm going to take this stuff." Like I get, it's the treasure trove. All right,
Right.
whoever opens it up is like, "Damn, I could, I could have a lot of fun with this."
Yeah.
But I would feel bad if I opened that
Yeah.
up. That's
I would
like
feel that
fucking
too.
$2,000 worth of shit. I would
Because-
open that up and be like, I can't.
Because you're the same
knowing
guy
that-
who was able to look at that situation and turn it around. But to somebody, there's like no empathy whatsoever, or like, they're like, yes, I'm gonna get like, it's probably like, hopefully somebody who can at least appreciate. Actually, I don't know what you wish upon the person. So if you wish death upon them, then
No. Here's hoping that whoever grabbed my stuff their life is better because of it in some way.
Wow.
You know what would be the coolest thing? The coolest thing is that this kid, it was a kid.
You made it a kid in your brain. All right, keep it going.
Sure.
Right? He always wanted to be a Halo pro, right?
And he picked up Master Chief Collection a little late to the party.
He's been praying for it for the last like 3 years, asking his father, who doesn't come around too often, and he hasn't been. He's like, God, just any way you can, just get me these things and a little bit of drugs, possibly.
Right? Yeah.
And then the world gave him this.
No comment on what else was in that bag. Oh,
and then the Halo World Championship of 220. This kid wins.
Yeah.
And he stands over there and he said, God gave me a...
This is God's backpack.
Right.
And you're like, that's my backpack.
Right. He had the HD TV at home. You know, he had the BenQ monitor and the peripherals. Right. All he needed was the
That's all he
needed.
needed.
The missing piece.
This is
and a Surface Pro to tweet about it. And
He'd been working for 6 years summer job, no frills, while supporting his mom who doesn't have a leg. Trust me. And he's just gotten everything but these, and then...
I mean, if that was the case, I'd pawn that stuff off and help your mom out. Anyway.
No, he was in for the long.
Yeah,
he was in for the
you don't
long
know what
game.
the long game is.
Right,
Don't tell him to quit on his
career
dreams.
that I could have from this thing.
Speaking of the careers of one could have off of this thing, because you did in a way build a career off of video games.
Segment. I'm working on it. I don't have enough of a sustainable career to say that this is like my
career,
full on career. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's not.
Neither do we, but here we are, 100 and some odd episodes in. So.
My success is sporadic, if anything. It's like I'll be doing 1 month. I'll be on my game. I got a sick event. I'm in Philadelphia. It's good pay. I'm like, yo, my life is going great. This can only lead to better things.
You start Instagram,
and then the next, Instagram is that's another thing. But and then the next week, I've got nothing going, right? I'm doing my part-time at the Microsoft store, which is not, exactly everybody's idea of a career goal, but it's still not to
pays the bills.
Yeah, we know you're not putting anybody down.
Right. I don't want to. I gotta be careful what I'm saying at all here. But I have a dream, of course, and I want to succeed in that. And it's I am getting closer, but it's still not consistent enough for me to I've got to keep on the grind, basically.
So.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the way how I came across you was because I just recently starting playing Halo again.
Yeah, I have no idea how you guys found out the timing and everything. It's like,
so the deal was that he and I used to play Halo 4 a lot. I mean, I played all of the Halos. I was a big fan, right? Master Chief. But
Sick.
That's the original.
That's from Halo 3.
That's
right?
Yeah, Halo 3.
Special edition.
Yeah. It's got games inside. You know this anyway.
Yeah. He keeps the body.
I didn't actually buy it, but I know all about it. Yeah.
Right. I got that. I got like the Reach statue over there as well. Which
you actually are a big fan. That's sick.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
And so I played all my life, and then something happened in 2015 where I would get like a severe anxiety reaction to just playing video games.
Wow.
It got so bad that even just holding the controller would cause me to like sweat. I wouldn't be able to think straight. My arms would seize up, like the muscles in my arms would seize up, and I couldn't play. And I had to stop. And for me, gaming was a huge part of my identity, and I had to give it up. Anyway, so a couple of years go by, completely like not playing video games at all, not even on the computer, not even handheld. I bought a DS and I was getting the same reaction.
Jeez.
Anyway, and then we came across this guy who is like a NLP practitioner.
Okay.
Right. So in neuro-linguistic programming, essentially, he calls himself a mind mechanic. So you do like a deep dive inside, try to figure out where the blocks are, when the mental blocks are, puts you in a trance. $300 later,
damn,
I'm playing Halo 5 again.
Now you know what
the trance, like,
he puts me in like a hypnotic state,
and you have no idea what activated the whole thing in the first place.
No clue.
Wow.
Yeah, no clue.
And you're playing Halo 5 now?
Now I'm back to playing Halo 5.
How is it? Is it okay?
Oh my god, it's so great.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that like I don't think I ever got deep enough into, like, I wasn't doing like weapon spawn counting, like,
well, you don't have to in this
stuff
game,
like that,
thankfully,
right? Well, now you don't, right?
Yeah.
Well, before I used to play with a bunch of guys that, this is back in the day when LAN parties was the big thing. People would like carry 27
my best childhood memory
TVs and like the old Xbox that had the Xbox was named weird names, like from the factory.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Like the first Xbox One, like the Xbox One, I think
You mean the original Xbox?
The original Xbox.
Right,
sorry,
I
yeah,
see.
the original
Yeah,
Xbox. They had their own name that was given to them from the factory.
That is adorable.
I don't.
Nothing like
I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'm pretty sure that's
I
correct.
didn't get the original Xbox till late though. I got
Yeah.
like the Crystal Special Edition
Oh,
version
okay,
that I
okay.
bought off of a friend
Right.
specifically because I played Halo 2 at like a basement LAN. I was like, I need to have this console. Like, who can give me the console?
The anticipation of driving in your parents' car with like a 27-inch CRTV or whatever,
Yeah.
CRT TV, and just like can't wait to like sit down and play with like 8 guys.
Yeah.
Man, it's the greatest feeling.
Why are you
We just
sitting in your
don't-
parents' car?
Can't wait to
Because
play
I didn't have
with
my own
you
car
guys.
back then. I didn't have this is back in the day.
That's true.
The CRT thing is actually not a distant memory for me. For Halo, sure, but
Yeah.
if you ever play competitive Smash, I don't know if you know about that scene at all.
No, not at all.
So I'm also involved in Smash Bros. Melee. It's my
Yeah.
other
Yo,
love.
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Yo.
Smash Bros. Melee came out in 2001, and it's probably the most popular fighting game in the world right now, up against Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, or Dragon Ball Fighters that just came out. And it's a community that's been growing since 2001. They're still playing. This is like 17 years later,
Yeah.
and they just recently had an event with I think like 80,000 grand finals
right.
viewership, which is pretty solid. They play on CRT televisions because the GameCube was designed to work better with a CRT. Like that game, the response time is the fastest on a CRT television. If you play on like an LED or an LCD, you actually sacrifice like a couple milliseconds or whatever,
Wow.
whatever
It
it
matters.
is in response time. Of
course.
And it matters. It's huge. So that means that pro players swear by the CRT. They will pick it up off your lawn. I have one that I picked up off a lawn. It's a Sony Trinitron, by the way, which is the holy grail of CRTs, like the best one.
You were the most excited, like, homeless guy they saw. They're like,
Actually,
that guy just...
I saw it and I was like, I'm carrying this. I don't care how far I have to go. Like, just strap this thing to my back. Like, but yeah, they haul a bunch of massive CRTs into a big convention center, and they have a huge tournament up like next week. Actually, I'll be hosting on May 18th. So it'll be the biggest Smash Bros. Event of the year. It'll be happening just outside Toronto near the airport.
Oh wow! Here.
It's here. It's called GOML, Get on My Level 2018. I'll be doing all of the interviews, the opening, closing
Yo,
for the
let's-
day, the
let's
grand
go.
finals.
Let's go.
You
Let's
can
go.
It's just a convention, and there's tons of smashers. Like there'll be like thousands of people.
I just like it. They're smashers. That's the coolest.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
different games too. Like there'll be 64, Melee, Smash 4. Probably not Brawl because nobody likes it. But
No way.
yeah, it's
I play
sick thing.
Super Smash Brother I just went to Dominican. If I'm on an airplane, I play a Super Smash Brother emulator. And what I try to do is I end it with everybody without losing any lives on the hardest level. And
Wow,
I
dude.
normally stop after 2. Friggin', it's not easy.
Yeah.
With that said,
So-
I'm glad Super Smash Brothers is.
Oh, it's that game is a beautiful mistake. It was never supposed to be as popular as it is, and it has incredibly deep mechanics. And you'll see my channel actually expand to incorporate Smash in the future.
I saw a couple breakdowns just on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah, my Twitter actually has a full game changer for Smash Bros. That's something else that I was working on. So I probably one of the biggest milestones for me in my, I guess, career in this was last summer when Cineplex they have the subsidiary of Cineplex called World Gaming that runs all their events. They were getting applications, I guess, for an upcoming show, an esports show, and you had to apply to be a host of this show. I went through a series of applications. It was like an online, like a video pitch that I sent to them. They got me to send a second video pitch. Then they sent me to a studio with the other top 8, basically. And they paired us up into different groups of 3, and they had us do test segments. And I managed to get down to the final 3.
That's amazing.
And we got to host. We were set up for 16 episodes, and I hosted 16 episodes where we covered everything happening in esports news. My main segment was called Game Changer, and that's where I got to analyze Smash Bros. I did one on Halo 5. I did League of Legends, Counter-Strike. The ones that I don't know too well, like I'm not a League guy, I get a specialist to help me out, like somebody
guy
who
gets
knows
a
the
specialist,
game.
huh?
A specialist. Yeah, like somebody who knows the game, just so I can bounce the questions off them, make sure I'm saying all the correct things.
Right.
But the Smash one was the one that really lifted off. I got like, it was like something like 2,000 views, but on Twitter, it has like 800 likes and 200 retweets or whatever. And I had like no followers. I still don't have very many.
Still though, and it's exactly those breakdowns that got me, because what was happening is that because I play Halo with my 2 other cousins, because I'm still waiting for this guy to get his take Xbox One.
I'm trying to get off of work. And he's like, no, man, you just got to get this and you'll be 12 again. I was like, I don't want to be like Peter Panning me over here. I don't want to be a kid.
And the thing is that getting to play again, and it's just that Halo 5 is surprisingly deep.
Yeah.
And it was so much to do just for me to learn how to do the run thrust slide.
Yeah.
All right. Was
you have to change all your controls and stuff to make that work too. You have to take off your maintain sprint, your toggle crouch.
Yeah, exactly. All of those small things, and then trying to figure out what's your sensitivity like, and there's the outer ring. There was so many new things to learn.
I know.
And so, I got deep into it. Like, just because it seemed like it was so much more difficult, and it was more fun to get back into it. But even back then, we used to watch. Now it wasn't even MLG, because MLG dropped Halo, right?
They actually just brought it back.
Well, now they did.
Just recently.
Yeah, now they did. When, obviously, the World Championships was freaking amazing.
Right.
But before that, it was EGL. Was it EGL?
I should know this.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
I'm not going to comment, but maybe, yeah, sure.
And that's when I fell in love with Ninja, because it was so freaking fun to watch Ninja play.
Yeah, and look where he is now.
Yeah. And I'm happy for him. Obviously, I'm happy for him, because I was subscribed to his Twitch account and all this other stuff. It was huge.
We were watching when he was like living with his parents and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was just trying to move out and started talking about it.
And he wasn't like the best Halo player, but he was by far, for me, for both of us, the most entertaining player to watch.
That's the biggest thing, right? That's the thing that unfortunately I feel like Halo is missing these days.
Yeah.
And it's not even that the players themselves aren't entertaining. It's that for whatever reason, a lot of the top players don't believe in the game that they play. And like, there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
Why would you...
So, go ahead.
If we wanted to actually get into that a little bit, what do you mean they don't believe in the game?
I don't even know. It's not that they don't believe, but like, there's. You've seen my recent videos. I've all of a sudden I've started grabbing all these views because I'm doing these controversial topics where I'm taking Halo 5 and saying it's actually a great game. And there's a lot of backlash that I'm getting too, because a lot of people seem to think that Halo 5 is not a great game because it's not classic Halo. Classic Halo is very different from Halo 5. It's designed differently. It's beautiful in its own authentic way, and people want to be able to play that. And Halo 5 just adds so much to the game that it almost is its own game, like it's a different game.
Agreed.
So a lot of the pros and a lot of the hardcore fans who were with Halo back in Halo 3 are so grounded in that, I don't know if I want to say nostalgia, but just like that's what they've loved. That's what that was the highlight of their careers and everybody's, childhood growing up, everything. And they want that back. So I guess even with the pros, like they're playing Halo 5 and they just feel like they're not being listened to. Like they feel like, the ideal Halo that they want to have is not being created.
Right.
However, I feel like everybody wants a different Halo. Like everybody wants a slightly different Halo. So I don't know how we come to a consensus that people are going to be happy with, because in the end of the day, like somebody's always going to hate it. Somebody's going to be like, this is not the Halo I wanted. And it's,
I think that's correct. The thing is I also felt like, Halo itself, during the time that it faltered with with Reach and 4, and it just wasn't servicing like pro players, and as a result, pro players started to fall off just from playing the game. I mean, I agree with you. There's never going to be a Halo that's going to make everyone happy. It's just never going to happen. But like, I think like even for the example for Ninja was like he was so unhappy with how the events were being held and all this other stuff. It might be a little bit of an elitist type situation, but
it's hard to know.
At the same time, that's what he was tweeting about. He's like, yo, this is it's not on the level of what it should be, and as a result, it's also because of the fact that the game itself is not that popular anymore. It's not attracting a big, because with Call of Duty and everything that's splitting the crowd. A long time ago, there used to be one shooter for Microsoft. It was Halo, and then every other shooter that came after Halo was trying to say that it was the Halo killer.
Right.
And so like they was just trying to dethrone this one game. And now there's so many shooters, right? And so there's a lot, like Gears of War also like pulled a fair bit of people off too.
Yeah, I mean Gears of War is actually even probably smaller, I'd say, community in comparison to Halo. Because I came from Gears before Halo even. But and now I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know what I wanted to say.
It's so funny because you just started talking.
Because I had something in there.
Oh, I got you. It'll come back around.
Yeah, come back. Interrupt me whenever you...
Or the thing is, it's also that, 343 has made a lot of mistakes, too.
Yes, exactly.
And the community has really not taken lightly to these mistakes. And some of them are big promises, like the Master Chief Collection is just a horrible example of that. Like, the idea that they had presented with the Master Chief Collection got everybody so excited. It's like every single Halo game you've ever loved together in one package. You can play it all. It's all there. It's 1080p. It's 60 FPS. It's amazing. And then they open it and they try to play it and the online doesn't work, and it still has problems today.
Still
and it's
broken.
been freaking years. And now they're saying, they're updating, fixing it, adding 4K. Who knows what else they're adding? Hopefully they do something drastic to really, to be a love letter to the fans or something. But that left a bad taste in people's mouths. Halo 4, like you said, didn't really cater to the competitive players. Multiplayer wise, it was probably the worst received in the the entire series. And then Halo 5, I actually think is a return to form, but because of all the mistakes and everything that we've had leading up to Halo 5, any other little mistakes that they make are
Big microscope on it.
it's done, man. Like we've been done with you so long ago. We're not giving you any more chances, right?
This is true. That being said, I agree with your video. that that Halo 5 is special in its own right.
Yeah.
It's really fun to play. And it's like at first I thought it was too much extra, right? And then people didn't even like sprinting, because you can just you get to one shot and then you can sprint away, that type of
And
thing.
you can't really sprint away when you're one shot. You take a bullet when you try to activate sprint, you're fucked. Like you're like hopping, like you're doing this weird limp thing.
Yeah. Plus you can't recharge your shields while you're sprinting as well. So
you're taking a risk every time you opt to sprint.
Yeah. So it's stuff like that, right? But I don't know. I got into it and I felt like, to be honest with you, as far as like my own entertainment value is concerned, I'm having the most fun playing Halo 5, and then obviously Halo 3 is always going to be close to the heart. But Halo 5 has been amazing, and there lies how I came across your channel is because after watching the Halo World Championship, did you watch any of that?
Yeah.
A little bit. So
Only the highlights.
Right. I know. Of
I
course.
am blown away still by
You can't be sitting over there watching.
all of my enthusiasm came just from seeing this guy so enthused.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, and then I got really into it. With that said, I'm still blown away by how huge it's gotten, and I'm
Yeah.
sure
You're saying that, but the these numbers are not what they were a couple years ago. At least for Halo 5, its peak, I'd say, was probably around 2016, maybe getting into 2017.
I was a huge fan of watching like StarCraft, and there was so much content, and this was maybe 6 years ago or 5 years ago, and now there's almost as much, but I hear it's really kind of dying down a little bit. I don't even know. But why is that? Is that...
Well, there's just so many games, like you guys said before. Fortnite is all the rage right now, right? And there are massive esports like League and Dota and Counter-Strike and Overwatch, and that either have the population or they have the funding. Like Overwatch has huge funding and production value, and that, of course, the game isn't a terrible game. It's just that also helps with the popularity that it has. Halo 5 is interesting. Ninja actually took the time to host the stream. I don't know if you guys know that. That's part of the reason why the Halo Championship got as many viewers as it got, was because Ninja actually, following, finishing his stream, he hosted them. So he sent 100,000 or 150,000, whatever, how many viewers, he sent them over to Halo. And then for a brief moment, Halo had it was like number 4 or something on the list of the top titles on Twitch. Everybody's like, holy crap, Ninja saved Halo. And then it whittled down to 50K, and then it went down to 30K. I think it held at about 30K.
Right.
Just going through the rest of the tournament.
Oh man, I did not know that he did do that.
He gave him a bit of a saving grace there, because the numbers were not the greatest.
No, they weren't. I remember sitting there watching.
Right, but he helped him hit some higher peaks, which is good too.
That is definitely good. Watching the World Championship though, I've never seen one team do that to X Optic, which turned out to be I forgot whatever the name that they came Tox. And Outplay, what's his name's team as well, which one of my favorite guys that got your Pistola and his
Envious
team. Envious.
Yeah.
Man, Shotzzy and that crew.
And Renegade, and
it's
they're
scary,
all
dude. They don't even when you watch them play, it doesn't even look like the other guys have a chance. Right? You look at the damage scores of Shotzzy, he's sitting at 3,000 or 2,9.
Yeah.
What is he doing? He's standing in the middle of the map just shooting everything that moves, and your second last video, and this is the reason why, because I've been trying to get my game up, trying to figure out how to traverse the map more effectively, what other jumps you need to figure out, and you've been breaking down Shotzzy gameplay, and then you mentioned it somewhere where you're from Canada. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna reach out. I hope you live in Toronto.
Yeah,
come on.
That was a good plan on your part. Yeah.
How good is Shotzzy? It's almost scary to watch him play.
Well, he's got to be the best in the world right now.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and it's interesting that people, because I'm reading my YouTube comments now, because the last video that I said was Halo 5 is easy in quotes,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to prove to people that Halo 5 is not easy. It's a very challenging game. And the reason why I love it is because of the depth of the mechanics. Like I'm from since Melee, if I'm coming from the Melee community, the reason why Melee is as special as it is because it has so many mechanics that were never meant to be in the game, and people just found out about them. And as they found out about them, they became these incredible, like, competitive mechanics. And whoever knew how to master them better was like a better player, and you had to follow that kind of meta in the game to keep up. Like Smash has that, Gears of War had that back in the day. It still kind of does, but like Gears 3 had something called the hyper bounce. Like you have wall bouncing, and then the hyper bounce was like your mastery of like the wall bounce, where you could do it so insanely fast. You're like bouncing circles around people. Halo 2 had it with like button combos, like the BXR, double shot with the BR. Now Halo 5 has it. And like the moment I see games that have those types of mechanics, that is what makes me jump on top of them. Like I recognize that shit immediately. I was like, this game has deep movement. I got to grind this out. And Shotzzy is one of those players who has been grinding it out in his own time. I guarantee you he's on those maps by himself. He's doing octagons, whatever, to work on his own individual skill and understanding. And when you watch him play, it shows. Like he knows the maps in and out. He knows how to move on the maps in like crazy ways. Like the routes that he's taking are all very calculated, very specific routes. Like on top of the fact that his shot and his reaction time are insane. He's a 16-year-old kid, right? So he's like, he's at his prime right now. It's nuts.
That's hilarious. Yasin was telling me about this. He's like, yeah, they're in their prime and they're young. Yeah. And I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then he showed me some children playing. I was like, that if that gives...
And and that's the thing too, is I feel like young players are more inspired by these types of things. Yeah. Like Halo, the movement mechanics that were added to this game is a hurdle for players to climb. Like you have to look at those mechanics and see them as like a source of inspiration and think it's cool and want to get good at it, or else you're not going to pay attention to it, and you're not going to get good at it, you're going to ignore it. I feel like a lot of pro players have been playing this game for like 10, maybe like 15 years or whatever. Now they've been playing for so long, and now they're introduced to this whole slew of other mechanics that were never part of the game before. They don't really want to take that extra time to master every little nuance. But Shotzzy has, he's still kind of new to all of this. This is the first time that he's actually been represented in competitive Halo. I feel like these types of mechanics to him are like, they're fun. He wants to be engaged in that. He's got more free time. He's got energy. He's, you know what I mean? So for the young guys, they see this as like, they jump on it. They love that, I think. I don't know.
It's got to be something. It's also also got to be the fact that they don't even do scrims. So this is a big thing. They don't even sit with their team of four and play four.
They just play each other.
They play each other. Oh, really? Team doubles.
Yeah.
And that was a big talk at the end, because the thing is that they steamrolled so many amazing teams. They didn't even look like it was, like some of the games didn't even look like it was competitive. Yeah. Right? It just looked like they were just trouncing everyone. And once when that happens, you have to think that what is it that they're doing? Is it just because they're all young? Because they went up against Royal 2. They went against some of the biggest names of Halo
individually,
ever.
Like individually, all those players are just as good, I think. Like pretty much as anybody else on the Splice team. It's just the way that they're playing that's crazy. It's honestly, I think 2v2s in Halo 5 should be like part of the competitive circuit or something, because I think they're actually pretty awesome to watch. If you watch Shotzzy stream, if he's streaming 90% of the time, he's doing a 2v2 now. He doesn't stream very often, so when you do get the chance to watch, it's like a treat. It's like, yes, I get to watch Shotzzy. But yeah, he does these 2v2s, and they're sick because in a 2v2 there's less players on the map. You've got more space, so you can really take advantage of every little jump and nuance and mechanic. Like he's got the freedom to do crazy things that you wouldn't otherwise be able
always felt that way, especially as a guy who was just starting off. I just felt like that you can see how hard this is, because it doesn't seem as random. Because if you're watching 4v4, sometimes you don't even know what's happening. Or maybe because you're an idiot. Could be either. I'm not sure. But 2v2, you can actually see how he puts shots in, why that other guy went, and you can see the whole communications, the call-outs, and everything makes sense.
Yeah, from a viewership perspective, it might be a little easier to follow for sure as well.
What the heck is that supposed to mean? No, I think that's what I said too. All right. No, I agree.
I think that, Halo 5 being as fast as it is the hardest game to understand. Like, not even as a viewer, as a player. Like, the flow of the game is faster. It's more random. There's like a million routes you can take on the map because of the mechanics that you have. There's so many different ways that players can take advantage of situations and escape and capitalize on things. So it's like, it's hard to predict the flow of gameplay. play, you have to kind of set the momentum and be on top of it, and then continue to like collapse and like, you know, have that snowball effect going forward. And I think Shotzzy and team Splice is just really good at setting that pace and continuing to be aggressive. And they're so confident. Like every single one of them you can tell by the way that they play that they think they're the best in the world.
They really
every
do.
stride. And that's kind of necessary. Like if you want to be good at pretty much anything in life, you have to be insanely confident. Not to the point where, and I know Boo Boo Dubu is a pro player. He's like, you can't like over ego people, like ego challenge, but you do have to have this like baseline confidence and belief that you are the best and that nobody can beat you in what you do. And I think that is like so necessary to be at the level that they're at. That guides their shots. Like that's one of the main reasons why they shoot as well as they do.
And they're scary.
Yeah.
I think I feel like they don't. Oh my God. When you were watching them play, they didn't even look like they were stressed out the entire time. Sure. They had the audacity of taking out that Staples thing where it says you press the button and it says that was easy.
Yeah. Oh, that was,
I saw that.
Yeah. At the end. Jeez, man. It was so. Yeah. But anyway, I'm glad that MLG picked Halo back up. I'm glad that we're getting that level of events now, because it looks a lot more shiny. It looks more fun to watch. There's more people at the event, you know, that type of thing. So it makes it because I'm always hoping for a resurgence of Halo, because I always thought that it was the best. And even because we played a lot of Call of Duty as well. We always thought Halo was better. And because of having shields is what made it I think that's what makes it the coolest. The
time
coolest
to kill, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, you count your shots, how many lands, how many don't, that type of thing. All of those small little things is what makes it the most addictive game. I like Counter-Strike too. But man, you think also as a result of the fact that even I think 343 has pissed not only competitive players, but they also pissed off regular players that like to play.
They
single
royally
player.
screwed the campaign lovers over,
right?
With the last game, with Halo.
What
5,
happened?
Sure. Apparently,
what did happen?
like, so I don't follow the campaign super closely. I've heard like reasonably good things about Halo 4's campaign. Apparently, like storyline wise, they actually did a few things right.
It's not
so
so
it wasn't garbage.
Yeah.
Halo 5, I have heard nothing but like unanimously agreed upon as being terrible. Like everybody thinks it's horrible. It's and I played it. It plays like a Call of Duty, like a Michael Bay movie on like rails. Basically, there's a couple more open areas. Like it is what it is. I didn't really play 4 campaign, but yeah, that's one of the reasons as well. It's honestly like I think the community and the individuals in the community is what makes a game popular in the end of the day.
Right.
Like at this point, especially, like Halo has a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of people who were brought up with Halo, and they will immediately recognize the franchise, but they're not going to recognize it and like it if the broader community doesn't tell them that they should like it. Right. The broader community that follows Halo right now seems to hate Halo, but they follow it because they've been with Halo forever, but they just want to talk shit about it and how bad it is, and how they wish it'll just get better.
Yes,
right?
that's it.
Right. That's all it is. It's just a group of people just pessimistic, and it sucks. It sucks that the entire community is kind of shrouded in pessimism, and I don't really know. Nobody really knows how to fix that, unfortunately, because it's like 343 is making a lot of mistakes that the community is recognizing, and it's right that they should recognize it. But at the same time, it's kind of lame that the community has to be so damn pessimistic about everything when there are aspects of Halo that are kind of like organically great and shining and do deserve recognition.
Agreed.
But they can't see those things because there's so many other bad things. So yeah, it's tough. So the big question now is like, what's next, right? Because I mean, I'm jumping on Halo 5 now, and I'm super late to the game. And honestly, I'm so surprised by the numbers and the following that I'm getting this early off the rip. I've got, in the last couple days, I've got nearly 200 subscribers, and I only had like 690, let's say on Friday. Now I have like almost 900. It's like the growth this is fast.
No,
yeah, but you're also really good at breaking this down.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And
your videos are amazing. It's probably one of the best channels for breakdown videos, bar none. Plus, because the thing is that like, it's almost like when I just started watching basketball. I'm watching LeBron play.
Yeah,
I know he's good, but I don't know why. I don't know what nuances makes him that good. You got to sit there and watch it, and I got to ask him about this. We have another friend.
Like that's why it's traveling.
Yeah,
Try to explain it.
Maybe not as rudimentary.
Well, maybe not, but
But like, your videos is not only the fact that you can sit in awe of someone as amazing as Shotzzy, but like I feel like it's accessible. That was the whole reason why I watched it, is because I was watching it because I felt like I could do something. I can take that away. Maybe in the next game, try to do something about it.
That's exactly what I want for people to feel, right? Like I want that level of approachable. I want to take the sports analyst, what you know and love, like we've all seen sports analysts, and transition that perfectly into esports by being an actual professional individual who understands the game and communicates the game in a way that makes it seem like this is something important that you should know. Like I'm very passionate about this, and I want people to be similarly passionate about it, because I think passion and emotion that you get from these experiences, that's what makes you love them. That's what gives you the memories and makes you want to continue playing. So if I can deliver this with the energy and passion that says that this is important, this is amazing, this is exciting, you should be a part of this, then I'm hoping that I can organically build a community based off of that. They're not just learning, they're also, with me and being excited as well, because these are sick plays. Like it is what it is, right? So I'm trying to be really approachable. What I'm doing on that YouTube channel is kind of like preliminary to what I want to be doing. The game changer is more along the lines of what I want, where it's just like higher production value. I'm standing up, delivering a presentation, because that's how I like to speak, is standing, delivering a presentation. I want to run a halftime show for 343 professionally. That's what I'd like to do. So I make these videos, and then when they have their esports events in the future, they hire me to come out to their event. And like, I'd love to cast too. I've done casting as well. But in between their games, I can take a sick moment, any clip, like literally from, let's say, the day before or even the day of, and I'll break it down in that style with a TV next to me, and organically like build that community and help new players who don't really understand it to get into the action and think it's actually cool and worth their time. So I think that I can really help, or hopefully I could really help foster a community with that type of content,
right?
And adding that to the professional Halo esports, I think, would be a good way to go.
For sure. There's not that many people sitting at because Halo's not all that popular, and there's not that many people who are doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of people who sit at the top of traffic, for example, for Halo 5. There's Proximity Cole,
who's not dedicated 100% to Halo anymore either. Nobody can really be 100% dedicated to Halo.
He's doing PUBG
if their
stuff.
lives are in YouTube, at least.
Right. Or Vetoed, who's as close as being as popular as possible. And he's also from Canada too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Montreal.
Yep.
So like you might be heading the resurgence, my friend.
I kind of feel like I put myself in that position now at this point. Like, cause now I've entered this whole YouTube space, and I'm like, hey everybody, Halo 5 is awesome and you guys should know. And I put myself in this position where now I have to take this backlash from people who don't like Halo 5, but I'm trying to position every one of my arguments in a way that is like as, I guess, kind and honest and like genuinely passionate as possible. And I'm not shitting on anybody else's passions. Like, I love all Halo games. I just want you guys to understand the things that I think are special about Halo 5 and be excited about those things with me. And and we can grow from there. Like, there's a lot of people who hate a lot of people in this community. Like, I'm just trying to find a way to find a middle ground here that is likable and that can grow an audience.
Right. Become a magnet of love for the Halo community.
I love it. I like how he's like totally like Mother Teresa.
I don't know.
With
like,
a beard.
some of the comments are really inspiring, because some people are like, I feel like Halo people who love Halo 5 don't even really express those feelings, because they are kind of intimidated to even say anything about it because of just the crazy amount of nostalgia and history that this game has, the passionate fans, right? They can't just come into Halo and join Halo 5 and be like, oh, yo, this Halo's sick. Like, you got to know all the other Halos. If you miss the other Halos, like, where have you been?
How dare you?
You're not accepted in the community. Like, it's tough.
That's true. There is some elitism in that.
So I'll see some comments and be like, oh my God, it's so relieving that somebody's like supporting Halo 5 and actually enjoys it. I love it too. It's like there's a lot of people coming out and saying that they actually really enjoy the game. So it's great to see that and have people agree with me, and that inspires me to continue doing what I'm doing. I want everybody to recognize these things and love them, because I'm not just going to do Halo. I'm going to also step into other areas of gaming that are really exciting and really technical, and because those are the things that really get me going as a gamer.
You seem to love getting into like peeling the onion and getting under all the layers and showing how
from a
complex
micro
it is.
perspective.
Yeah.
There's a UFC segment before big fights.
Okay.
With what's the two guys who they stand by exactly what you want to do.
Right.
They stand right by the TV,
I have no idea.
It's
I
not.
watch a ton of UFC.
It's not embedded. It's what's the guy who can't fight because he's got a heart?
Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy. He's standing with another guy, and so they will
Oh,
break
I know
down
what
the
you're
fight.
talking about.
Right.
Yeah, they'll do like a full breakdown. They'll pause it. See this moment?
Right.
This is the moment where
Exactly.
he
Back
realizes
it
he's
up,
about to
push
die.
it forward, back it up. This is what happens over here, and they're both obviously very passionate about fighting.
Right.
That's exactly what you're
exactly.
what you're trying to drive to.
Yeah, and I mean, if I could do that with quality production value, like sports analyst style production value, I can stop, I can slow mo and stuff, and like I've got all of that at my fingertips. I think that I can draw an audience like that. My ideal goal for this is that I go to the gym and I get more jacked. So like I make my, it sounds silly, but I want to look like somebody who didn't come from video games in like the traditional stereotypical sense.
No Cheeto stains.
Right. Like I look like a nerd. I look like not like. God, because the whole concept of what's a nerd now has changed too. I want people who are outside of the industry who have this stereotypical idea of what gaming is about to look in and to see me and to be like, wow, this is crazy. This is serious. I got to be a part of this. What is this? It's like,
Keep growing
this
that
is a
beard,
professional guy who takes care of himself. He's in good shape and he knows his stuff and he's talking with confidence and he's professional and he's doing it about there's a Nintendo character beside him. It's Mario and Yoshi and they're fighting. Like, you know what I mean? I want people to see that and be like, almost confused but interested at the same time. Like this is the revolution of our generation. Inevitably in the future, at some point, this is going to be a professional thing. You're going to have professional, good-looking, capable people playing video games, and that is their entire life. Like that's becoming the norm. So I want to feel that revolution. Let's say.
I love it. I feel goosebumps.
Hey, I got a little bit of
now.
goosebumps right there.
I can see
for
it.
sure. All right, so I want to just switch tracks real quick.
Prison fighting.
Let's do it.
How much are we switching tracks? Sorry, I don't even know.
Scuff controllers.
Okay,
I feel like I've gotten the most that I can out of a regular controller.
Oh god.
I'm only at platinum. I feel like I need to.
What's the
You're a
Scuff?
platinum?
Can somebody tell
I'm
me
just
what this
at
controller
platinum.
is?
We should play some Halo. I'll sit behind it. Oh, what just happened there? I don't know. I'll sit behind your shoulder and just like fucking say what's right and wrong.
Oh my god, that'd be the greatest thing ever.
No. Okay.
Hope
okay.
take the wheel.
The one of the biggest issues, and my mic is like doing some things.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
like going in and out of like I can hear the mic.
Oh,
and
I
then-
think it's just your.
There you go. Now I hear you like you're talking in a mic.
Okay. Is
it better now?
Is it better now?
Yeah.
You sound great.
It might be just because of the headphones.
Yeah. So one of the biggest issues with Halo 5, and this is something that they would probably have to fix for Halo 6. Like as much as I love the depth, like the technical depth of the game and how competitive and like interesting the movement is, in order to take full advantage of that, you have to buy into these peripherals or claw your controller or do like wacky things in order to do that properly. Because otherwise you're basically screwed just playing the normal way, which is a problem. I think that Halo 6, hopefully they can find some sort of like a middle ground where people don't have to invest in these crazy controllers just to be able to pull off what's become like basic tech in this game, basically, right? So when it comes to Scuff controllers, I don't know if you saw the video that I put up about the controllers.
I did, but I just wanted to because I tried claw before.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah, you showed me.
I tried claw for a little bit. I can't do it. Like it cramps up your finger. I know that there's a steep learning curve, and eventually you'll get to it. But I kind of feel like just having paddles would be better.
Yeah, and that's the thing is when you're using a controller with paddles that is working perfectly fine, like everything's great, then it is amazing. You know what I mean? Like this is a whole new way to play, and I can't play Halo any other way than having the 4 paddles under my controller.
Right.
The thing is, that video that I did when I unboxed that white controller, 2 days later the bumper broke, the left bumper. Like it was already stuck. Like I pressed it for like an hour and it was already getting stuck. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I spent $200 and it's already getting stuck. So like the durability, the quality of these controllers is just, it's abysmal sometimes. And I can still use it. Like I said, the bumper issues on this controller, if it breaks, the button still presses. So it still works. That's like the least of the problems. But I know that the inevitable, reality, like 3 months down the line, is that these paddles are going to probably start giving out too because I'm pressing them so much. So it's just shitty because like it means I can't recommend it to people because I don't want you to invest $200 knowing that 6 months down the line you might have a broken controller, might have to reinvest or whatever it is. But when it works, dude, it's awesome. Yeah, it's worth it. Like,
do the pros use Scuff?
they do, but they claw. A lot of them claw. But they'll do a combo. They'll do like a hybrid. Like for example, a Snipe Down will claw, but he'll have paddles on the left side as well for like jumping, or they'll have like a nade switch.
Oh my
paddle.
god! you know how like playing the piano used to be the biggest, like everybody played some piano. Right. All those people are now just like, I've learned how to master playing this video game by doing this and this.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, it's very impressive. But I feel like we're missing on some really fine art or something somewhere.
Well, just so you know, though, these skills that you learn playing video games, like, you know, learning different controllers and peripherals and clawing, that is directly transferable to like musical instruments and piano
Yeah,
and
it
drums.
seems that
Like,
way.
I'm also a drummer and a sax player. And
this guy.
I find that I go through the exact same learning processes, grinding out tech in like Smash Bros. And Halo and grinding out like drum rolls or like certain stick techniques. It's the same type of thing. You do it for hours and hours, and then you eventually learn that you can do it faster without like putting less stress on yourself at the same time just by holding it a certain way or hitting the button a certain way. And then then you become like a fucking speed demon. You're hardly stressing your hands, whatever it is, right?
You can attach anything to video games. I love it, man.
Oh yeah, the
You're
learning
good at
process.
this.
It's like puzzle solving. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, you take a challenge, an obstacle,
Right.
and the steps that you have to go through to overcome that obstacle are
Right.
similar in so many other.
I can see you making a video like, this is how you make an omelet. It's just like Mario Kart 64. All right, and this is why Yoshi's landing.
Right,
And you're
right.
like, oh, his guy
That's
did it. He
exactly
somehow
it.
tied the two things together.
If only I could press buttons on a controller and make it omelet.
But high production value, very professional. You look like you belong there. You're fit.
You're fit.
All
you got
of the
hairy
videos, that's what we're
arms.
gonna
You
do.
don't look malnourished.
if I have all that yet, I have my ultimate dream, basically. Yeah.
Hey, give it a minute. I mean, keep going. This is. I mean,
I'm working on it.
yeah. Definitely.
I do have like an ultimate fantasy dream, basically.
Lay it on us.
Which is, I feel like everybody should have one ridiculous fantasy kind of dream, and I think it's possible. But I want to have an esports talk show, my own talk show, esports and Twitch. So I want to interview Twitch celebrities like Ninja and esports pros, but in the same style that we have modern day talk shows. So I want to pull from Ellen, from Jimmy Fallon, from Conan O'Brien, from all of these big name talk shows. So that means I want a live audience and I want a live Twitch audience. I'm just focusing it on Twitch and esports celebrities, which is the new whole like generation of, you know, celebrities basically. So I think that that's a huge market, and that's an inevitable thing that's going to happen as well.
As
And I
as
wanna be
all
on
of
that.
the scenes grow,
Yeah.
for sure, right?
Are you going to be lip syncing with them, like lip syncing?
I will be lip syncing
Okay,
with them.
perfect.
He's going to play video, play other games.
Right, that's
You
the thing.
know,
Is like
like
there are
charades.
different types of activities that we will do that'll be in relation to gaming and like memes and stupid shit and whatever
Yeah.
that's happening in gaming that'll give us activities, right?
I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's already kind of happening. It's just I really want to do that classic style talk show, maybe even with the band and the audience, but it's focused on
You're
Twitch
an
and
old
esports.
soul, man.
Not really, but
You're gonna-
just, maybe just in that
The
part.
Roots
of it.
crew is already busy, so who would we get? Who would you get for a band?
Yeah,
Hey,
like-
give me an opportunity to just like play the sax a couple times, maybe. Be like,
You
"Hey, I
can't
do
do
this as well."
everything, dude. You can't be the host
Put me in
and
the
the band at the same time.
I think that the biggest thing about it is I love having a live audience,
Yeah.
like an actual live audience. That and I come from, you know, when I was in Ryerson, my biggest breakout and all of the stuff that I'm doing here actually comes from the public speaking that I learned at Ryerson.
They didn't
Because
teach me that.
Sorry?
They didn't teach me that.
No, and they don't teach you that. You have to go out of your way to learn that.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about university, and I don't know if it's the same at every university, but something that I would recommend to anybody at university is to look into the extracurricular opportunities available to you that the school provides. Basically, like in Ryerson, at first I would just go to school, do my homework, go home, and it was just, you know, rinse and repeat, and you don't get much out of it.
Yeah.
But when you start joining the student groups and getting actual like real life experience and then working on your own projects and stuff, you realize that you're learning so much and you're applying so much, and that is the university experience, to take advantage of that and to network. And I basically had the good fortune of joining. So I joined the Ryerson Speech and Debate Association. I knew I wanted to try public speaking, and there was this guy who had this pet project. He was working on a public speaking program he called Picture Words, where he teaches people to become more confident and effective speakers, but he does it in like a small scale environment with like 5-6 students. They get a lot more time to speak. Anyway, he was working on it. He had to graduate. He's like, Alex, I'm going to pass this down to you. You could take the torch or whatever. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. So I took it upon me to teach Ryerson students to become better public speakers. I ended up training over 200 students. I started training case competition teams. I went outside of Ryerson a couple times to work with ESL workers and students. And that was a huge,
was
just
an
like
ESL
revolutionary
student.
experience for me. Huh?
I was an ESL student. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So I worked with a couple of ESL students, and I also worked with multicultural workers and whatnot too.
So how, and I know like we've been through basically a full journey at this point, but how did that And this is the one question I didn't ask. How did that lead to you actually getting into this? And like, was it just simply like, all right, I'm just gonna start doing this, and people start paying attention, and I start getting invited to things?
No, well, yeah, you got to just kind of start volunteering. That's the biggest thing with it.
Okay.
But, so basically, that was where I gained all my background in public speaking.
Yeah.
And what I was saying about having a live audience is I love just the experience of like, I guess imparting passion and inspiring people. And if I can engage people and entertain people and inspire them in some way that, actively changes their life or whatever it is, I feel that, especially when it's that human touch, when those people are in front of you, when you can feel that energy. I think that's the most amazing thing ever. And that's kind of why I fight for the live audience type stuff.
Right.
How I got into gaming specifically is like, I've always been a huge nerd and a gamer. I actually had to take a break from gaming to pursue the public speaking stuff because gaming was my ultimate addiction.
Right.
And the reason that I jumped into the public speaking in the first place was because I was completely addicted to Gears of War. I had a girlfriend at the time who had broken up with me, and I realized that a large part of this breakup was because I had no future goals. I was obsessed with video games and smoking pot and just being lazy. And in that moment, I decided to snap my game into pieces and be like, I'm going to move on. I'm going to practice public speaking. And then 2 years later, I come back around and I'm like, actually, I love video games. I want to talk about video games. So I recognized the Smash Bros community has a huge grassroots following in Toronto. It's just a community that's been going forever. And they have local tournaments in like bars, like Shock's Billiard Lounge in the basement. They have a tournament there. And yeah, so you go to these local tournaments and you can play, but they also have a commentary setup. And the commentary setup, like nobody ever does it. Like there's nobody hired to do commentary. So people just sit on for fun and like, they'll commentate whatever, just fuck around. But I, with my public speaking background, took it upon myself to sit down and actually try to run some commentary just for fun.
Right.
And that ended up getting me into, bigger roles. I ended up commentating bigger tournaments, and all this was voluntary. The only time I ever actually made any money from like producing content in gaming was last summer when I finally got on that show. The World Gaming Show. So up until that point, I was just doing voluntary initiatives the whole time. And now everything that I do, I'm like, okay, is it paid? Will I get paid for this? Is there a hotel included? No, but and it's awesome that I can start to to move forward there. But it all came from just me sitting down at the commentary at a local tournament and talking and getting the networking and connections. The biggest place for me that allowed me to kind of I guess explode as far as networking goes is Raiders Esports Center. If you haven't heard of Raiders Esports Center, you guys got to check it out. Have you heard of it?
Is that in Toronto or?
It's in Toronto. So it's a bar dedicated to esports. 7,000 square feet.
A bar dedicated to esports.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the Yasin walking around.
You guys good?
Yeah. We cut out.
Oh, okay.
What happened? Raiders Esport.
Yeah, look it up.
This thing listens. I wrote the word raid and it was like, you mean this? And I was like, why are you listening? This is all St. Clair. How far are you from this?
I'm not far at all. It's like a 15-minute subway ride. Young and St. Clair.
It's right by my nutritionist.
So now
Yeah, but I recommend you check it out because that was the place that inspired me, and that's where I was able to network and pick up the opportunities that I have now. It's a bar dedicated to esports, 7,000 square foot bar, and when you get in, it used to be a sports bar. It's been around for like 30 years, and this family basically came in and were like, we want to make it an esports bar. So in the back, they turned it into basically like a LAN center. There's like 24 gaming PCs all hooked up, and there's actually like a viewing pit. Like it's a sick bar. It's got like a viewing pit with gaming PCs lined up around like the edges, and there's like giant projector screens. Well, you should check it out.
Yeah.
And then above that, they have more PCs, and then there's like a center area, and all the chairs in this area are like DX Racer style chairs, gaming chairs. And then they have another projector, and they've got tables with retro consoles. So there's like a back bar with an N64, and there's an area with a PlayStation 4, and then the front bar is like a 360 on it. So there's just games and stuff everywhere. And on all the TVs, instead of watching sports, you're watching a stream on twitch.tv. And you can request like a specific stream. You put Ninja up there and just like have fun, drink with your friends, get fucked up and watch and play video games. And this
sounds like Wonderland, bro.
It's open till 1 or 2 every night.
Yeah.
It's open late.
And they've been on the grind because this type of like experience doesn't really exist in Toronto, and it's not the norm. They're one of the only bars that is dedicated to this, and they're a pretty large venue too. So it's on the day to day, I can only imagine it's kind of a struggle. Like it's not the most popular, but when it comes to big events, like they get some of the best big events because there aren't too many locations for something like this. So when you have a big tournament or you have a big party, like an after party for a tournament, everybody goes there. And that's when it becomes a great place to network and to meet the scene. They actually have Twitch community meetups. So Twitch streamers will get together and have like a big kind of, party hangout and play video games and drink and socialize. And that will happen, I want to say like once every season at least or something. There'll be a big Twitch meetup.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Okay. We got like all these things, so we got to check that out.
Yeah.
We also need to check out the upcoming event that you said it was a
Smashers
the
event. What's it
Smash
called?
event?
Gommel, Get On My Level, May 18th.
Get on my level.
Get On My Level 2018. Look it up on Facebook.
Right.
It'll be there.
Okay. So we'll check that out. You're gonna be there.
I will be
You're
there.
gonna be there. Yeah.
Nice.
You're gonna be commentating.
No, so I'm going to be doing host stuff. So I'll have a mic,
Okay, cool,
and I'll
cool,
probably
cool.
be interviewing players after waves. I'll stand up on the stage, especially for the Sunday, the final Sunday. I'll be doing all the top 8 call-outs, the grand finals, the award ceremony.
Cool.
Getting the audience hype, basically.
All right. So Crash Flow will show up over there.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Do it
We'll
up,
come and
that'd be
say
sick.
hi.
You interview them, and then we'll interview you afterwards, and somebody will hopefully talk to us, and we'll close the circle out.
Yeah, man.
Somehow. All right, we'll put all your links and information in the bio of the description of the episode. But that's it, man. Dude, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me.
I was super excited to have someone come on and talk about Halo at a level.
And be that passionate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You made me
Hopefully
love it all over again.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the hope is that everybody falls in love with Halo, all over again, and hopefully Halo 6 can do that somehow. I don't know,
For
we'll
sure.
see.
Yeah.
But thank you guys, honestly, so much for having me. I've never actually been on a podcast. It's my first experience
Didn't seem like
with it.
Yeah.
Well, I've
You're
done
natural.
other things that are
I've
closely
talked before.
related. But yeah, it's it's exciting, and I'd love to do more of these.
Cool,
types of
man.
things, so
Yeah,
thank you.
without a doubt. All right, people, thank you for listening to the podcast. Go pick up an Xbox, play some Halo, fall in love with it, bring our numbers up. Then maybe 343 will stop messing up and we can get like an awesome Halo 6.
And check
no,
out
no,
these
no, it's all
videos.
love. It's all love. Halo 6. 343 trying as hard as they can.
It's-
No pressure,
it's tough
bros.
to say.
Anyway, take care of yourselves. We'll be back in a week. Good night.